All right, it's time for another edition of Mike Finds Things, where I go out and find all sorts of great, cool records out in the wild, mostly estate sales and thrift stores. And today, all these records came. I'll have a stack from a couple different estate sales, and I'll have a stack from a few different thrift stores that I found this week. Definitely some amazing stuff, especially if you like 78s, and also some great LPs as well. I don't have any 45s this week, so that's kind of a rare week where I don't have any 45s. Speaking of 45s, I still have that 45 lot to go through to bring you some of those. That'll probably come. I'm probably saving those for like a week where there's no sales. This week, I probably will be hitting a couple sales. I do have something I have to do with my daughter on Friday, so I don't know if I'm able to hit any that day. Saturday, I've got a show to film up in Big Bear, and on the way back, I might be able to hit a couple sales on the way home from there, depending on what time I get done wrapping up filming at that event. And then Sunday, possibly, maybe in the afternoon, if there's anything like super local. Usually by then, a lot of stuff's been picked through. But I did get to two sales. The first sale I'm going to do, this was actually on Sunday, and it was a Saturday-Sunday sale. I didn't get there till Sunday because it was somewhat close to where I filmed the Long Beach car swap meet. And I had to actually meet up with my sister and my daughter at Disneyland, and it was a little out of the way, but not terribly out of the way. So I decided to go there because the pictures, it just said they had records. They had just a random rack of LPs that you could barely make out. You couldn't make out anything, but it was in like Compton, and I thought, well, and I looked at his other stuff, and I was like, this guy probably had really good taste in music, and I was right. So I'm guessing the LPs had already been picked through. There was a couple good ones, nothing I was really terribly interested in, but the guy definitely had good taste in 78s. Unfortunately, he did not take care of them very well. So we're going to go into that right now. And I must remind you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers. I've already got the watch hours to monetize the channel. I do not have the subscribers. I need 1,000 subscribers to monetize. And the channel's already been reviewed by YouTube for monetization, so that's already done. So as soon as I hit 1,000, I can monetize it. They're still going to show you the same ads. I'll just get a cut of it. That's about the only difference. So we're going to go into this right now. We're going to start with the 50. These are all R&B records and blues and rock and roll and good stuff on 78. Unfortunately, the conditions aren't the most fantastic, but some of them do play. First one, we got a white label promo on Jubilee on a 78. I'm a Sentimental Fool by the Marylanders. I couldn't find any sold comps for the promo version. The non-promo, some guys asking $20 for on Discogs. And I say 78 prices on Discogs are weird, so I do give that disclaimer. B-side is Sitting by the River on a white label Jubilee. I always like to pick up the Jubilees, especially when they look like doo-wop. That was from 1952. Here's a great one. This one did play. It's one of the somewhat better condition ones, but it did play both sides. It's a blues record. I found two guys on Discogs. I did not write. Oh no, I did write down the year, 1957. One guy's asking 13 for one, and one guy's asking 25 for one. No word on what the conditions are. Peaches by Little Junior Parker on Duke. And when I find a Duke, it's usually like a Johnny Ace, so it's kind of nice to find something else on Duke on a 78. And Pretty Little Doll. That's catalog 177 on Duke. Sometimes there's different variations. We have one coming up with the same catalog number with two different B-sides. This is a different record, though, that's coming up on a different label. But another one I would have liked to have found in better shape. This is one you guys know this song. Everyone knows this song. On Keen Records from 57. That's a big enough clue right there. Low of 5, mid of 16, high of 100. This is not a $100 copy by any stretch of the imagination. It's probably closer to maybe a $4 copy. It's probably lower than those. You Send Me, Sam Cooke. This one has a really nice B-side too. It's got Summertime on the B-side. But unfortunately, the condition, this guy did not take care of his records too well. I don't think I played that one yet. Sometimes when they're scratched up like that on 78s, they will still play fine. I do know that. Sometimes you'll have a 78, looks like it's brand new and it sounds terrible. It's weird how 78s work. Here's a 1957 record that we all know what this is. If you don't know what this is, you're probably watching the wrong channel. Low of 30, mid of 36, high of 43. Amazingly, I didn't try to play this yet, but we all know this one. It is Elvis Presley, Jailhouse Rock, RC Victor 78, or 57. Of course, from the movie Jailhouse Rock, and Treat Me Nice, so a very nice A-B side. This is one of those examples of a record, this and probably that Sam Cooke, you find it a lot on 45. The 45 really isn't worth much, but on 78, people want these for their jukeboxes because people do want Jailhouse Rock in the jukebox. I'll have to see how it cleans up, but I don't know if it's clean enough to put in my jukebox or not. But a very clean copy of that would be nice to have for someone for a jukebox, or just an Elvis collector. 1955, this is a Mambo record. This one I picked up because this guy, I'm going through there and I'm finding all these great stuff. I bought most of his 78s. Like, this guy didn't have any Bing Crosby. Like, he didn't have any of that stuff you normally find. On Grand Record, I didn't recognize the label. I didn't recognize, it was Chris Powell and the Blue Flame, so that sounded like a doo-wop. It's Mr. Sandman in a Mambo version. And yes, it's that Mr. Sandman. It's the Mr. Sandman you think it is. So there you go. B-side is Mambo Gunch. And this 78 has sold for $40 on Discogs. This one's a little banged up, unfortunately. I like to pick up those minor label ones that I have not seen. In fact, coming up later in the thrift store pile, I got a couple 78s. Labels I'd never seen. They're both the same label, but it's one I'd never seen. Here's one. It's a 56 R&B record with a female vocalist. We got on Baton Records. I like to pick up the Baton label. They put out a lot of good stuff. Low of 16, mid of 22, high of 40. This one is Ann Cole and with the Suburbans and Orchestra in the Chapel. So again, I really wish these were in better shape. And Each Day. I did not pay a whole lot for these, so it was like extremely low price, or it was worth picking them up. So I said I did play up the fact that they were pretty bad. Honestly, if I hadn't bought these, they probably would have wound up at the dump or something. 52 blues vocal. Somebody's asking $40 for one. I couldn't find a sale comp. Winnie Brown and her boyfriends Be Anything on it's one of these 8000 series Mercury's. Now, 8000 series was the race record series for Mercury. So if you ever find a Mercury 78 or 45 with 8000 series, that's what that is. Heaven knows why. You find a lot of Dinah Washington on 8000 series. So that means the catalog is in the 8000s. I found blues records. I found all sorts of good stuff. Great, like jump blues, you know, stuff like just jazz, a lot of cool stuff on the 8000 series. So the majority of what you find, though, is Dinah Washington on 8000 series. So 57 doo-wop, you guys know this one too. It has sold on Discogs for $22.50 because it's a well-known song. It's the Del Vikings, Come Go With Me on the Dot label. And they actually did there's a couple different label variations, so that $22.50 was this variation of the label. And How Can I Find True Love is the B-side on that. Very well-known doo-wop song with the baby crying on the record. I picked that up because I did not have it on 78. That's another one that comes up on 45 all the time because they reissued those 45s until much later. Obviously, they didn't keep making the 78 version. Same with Jailhouse Rock, same with You Send Me, any of those. They pretty much went out of production in the U.S. in about 1958. I think there were a couple 59 releases on 78, but they would be kind of rare. 51 doo-wop. Discogs only shows the 45 in existence, which is weird because it's a 51 record. You would think there'd be more 78s than 45s of this. On Robin Records, Mellow Moods singing Where Are You? Again, I wish it was in better condition, but what are you going to do? I do not have a sold comp. I think this is the one where the 45 actually had a reasonable. One of them had a really good value on the 45. How could you? But I can't really compare it against the 45 because it's from 51, so there would definitely have been more 78s pressed of this one. Whereas when you get into the late 50s, they pressed a lot more 45s. From 57, as the R&B, this one I wish was another one I wish was in better shape. I think that's pretty much the case with this stack before we get to the LPs. When we get to the LPs from the other estate sale, they're in like really nice condition, most of them. The 5 Royales, which we've seen before on King Records. Usually we see this on Apollo, the 5 Royales. 57, this one is sold for 15 on Discogs. The 5, it's Think, and it's the same song that James Brown had a hit with. You can see they drew an X, so I don't know if a DJ had this. Actually wrote an X on both sides. And I'd better make a move on the B-side on a King label. And of course James Brown was on King as well, from 1957, so kind of a neat find. Here's a 55 doo-wop. You know the artist. You know, they're probably their bigger hits, but this is from 55 on Checker. Low of 11, mid of 15, high of 70 on Discogs. I'll Be Home, the Flamingos on the Checker label. I'll find Checker label stuff. Need Your Love. Of course, it was like a subsidiary of Chess. Like I said, another one is, it's just like got light scratches everywhere. Still cool to pick up. I like to show these even if they're kind of banged up so you guys kind of know what to look out for. I'm sure a lot of people watch the channel already collect this stuff, so I think I'm the only guy left that does this kind of stuff. I know there was like one other guy when I started that did it, and I don't know if he's still going or not. I stopped for a while just to concentrate on my other channel. And at one point decided to bring it back. And I had a bunch of records I bought at sales that I just didn't remember if they were in videos or not, so I just put them away. These are fresh from Sunday though. I bought. Here's one. Discogs only shows the 45. The 45 is worth quite a bit of money, and I can't even find anybody else that has the 78 online. And it does play, even though it doesn't look the best. I played it. It sounds fine. Has scratches as you expect on a scratched record. From 56, we got Going, Going, Gone, the Jewels on Imperial. And My Baby. Said one that I really wish wasn't much. That one, I'm guessing, because it's from 56, so they probably did press more 45s and 78s of that one. So it's I really wish that was in better shape, but that's definitely one to keep an eye out for. That is a killer doo-wop. There is a there is a video of that song on YouTube if you want to go check it out. Once again, it's called Going, Going, Gone by the Jewels. Like that's a killer doo-wop, man. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a great song. That's one. I know some of you guys go and look for some of these songs on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes after I get done with these videos. That's one definitely to look up. Here's one we know the song. And what's crazy is I bought 2 of the same record at the estate sale, but they're the 2 different variations with different B-sides. This is one I was mentioning earlier. Now, somebody's asking $9 for the one that doesn't have the Christmas song on the B-side, but it's Jesse Belvin, Goodnight My Love on Modern. And you can see we got 2 copies of that. However, the B-side, this one is Let Me Love You Tonight. That's the non-Christmas B-side that some guy's asking $9 for one. Obviously, Goodnight My Love was a hit, and the other one is I Want You With Me Christmas on this one. So there's 2 different variations of that one. Discogs didn't show the 78. They showed a Canadian 45 having the Christmas B-side, and these both have the same 1005 catalog number. So they both have the same catalog number on them. So they didn't create a different catalog number for the different B-side. Similar to how the Shaboom by the Chords is, how it has the second B-side that was. They switched the B-side once it became a hit for some reason. Here's one from 51. It's a label I always just grab. I don't even like. I mean, I looked at what it was, so I knew what it was. But usually I'll just grab it if I don't know what it is. If I find this label. It's a blues record. I said 51. Low of 17, mid of 24, high of 32. It is the Recorded in Hollywood label, which in 1953 became just Hollywood, Hollywood Records. Penitentiary Blues. We got to watch it. There's a couple other Hollywood records that were out later on that weren't R&B records and cool stuff. It's part 1, part 2 record, Smoky Hog. The other one I really wish was in better shape. There you go, part 2. Anytime you see that Recorded in Hollywood label, just grab it and ask questions later. Sometimes you'll know what it is anyway, but now we got the trash truck coming. Okay, so now we're dealing with that. 54 R&B record. We'll just trudge through it. It wouldn't be a Mike Finds Things unless we had some sort of interruption. I like filming on the porch just for the lighting because I don't have one of those fancy light setups. This is one, it's a sequel to one of your favorite songs from the early 50s. This one's from 54. Low of 11, mid of 15, high of 49. It's a doo-wop. It is Don't Stop Dan by the Checkers on King. And yes, it's a sequel to 60 Minute Man by the Dominoes. And House with No Windows is the B-side. I kept upgrading my copies of 60 Minute Man until I got a really nice copy. I kept buying, I think I have like 4 different copies, and like as I bought copies of that record, it progressively got better. So now I've got like a really nice copy of 60 Minute Man. Hopefully that'll be the same with Don't Stop Dan. I do remember hearing that like on oldies radio locally years ago. I'm going to try to get through. Hopefully I think he's on the other side, and the house across the street from me, they didn't put their cans out, so hopefully it'll just roll past. Here's one I've got no information on. The same guy, the same name. There was like a country artist under the same name as a blues artist under the same name. This is a Mambo, and I grabbed it because it was in that stack of amazing records. It was on a label I've never seen, and there's really no info on. Spry Records, No Name Mambo, Bobby Ray Orchestra. There you go. Check out that plain label. And Leaning In. I like to take chances on stuff like this. So on a Mambo record, so it's called the No Name Mambo. There's no information on the label, like what town they were from, anything. Kind of a weird mystery. Good, the trash truck's gone. I hit this early enough where there shouldn't be any gardening, or I didn't see any construction trucks. They were doing construction down the street yesterday, so I was really happy I wasn't filming then. Here's a 57 R&B record on Imperial. This is going to be the last of the 78s before we get to the thrift store stuff later on. This one's sold for $9 on Discogs. Kind of a beat copy. You know the song, even if you don't know the artist. Leroy Brown, Let the Four Winds Blow, which yes was done by Fats Domino. In fact, if you look on here, he is credited as one of the writers of the song. Antoine Domino on Imperial. And Diddy Diddy. So that was that. Like I said, I took a chance. I had a feeling they were going to have some good records. It did not say they had 78s. There was no pictures of 78s. But man, I was happy when I got there. I just wish they were in better shape. So this is a sale I went to yesterday. This next sale. This is a different sale. This one's right by my house up in Altadena. Like 10, 12 minutes from here. It was only posted on Craigslist. Not posted on estate sales. Blink and you miss it on Craigslist. And it just said they had record players. And the stuff they had didn't look that great. I also bought a really cool RCA AM/FM radio from the 60s that still works. It's a solid state. I usually don't buy radios that late, but this thing was kind of cool looking, so I grabbed it. But they wanted to sell me all the records as one lot, but there was a lot of like terrible stuff in there. So I bought what I wanted, and I got an okay deal on it. I got a really good deal, I will say. So I bought that and the radio, and then I might go back up there because they said the last day they're just going to be kind of blowing stuff out. I said not run by an estate sale, which is the family running it, which is usually better because they genuinely want the stuff out of there. They're not trying to hold on to it to go sell it online later or at like one of the swap meets. First one, this one's got there's 2 different versions. I couldn't quite peg down which version this was between the jacket and the label. But this one is super minty. It has most of the cellophane still on it. From 1965, you know damn well what this is. 11 One of the versions says, it might be the same version, 11, low of 11, mid of 75, high of 200, and 250. And then the other listing on Discogs is low of 2, mid of 50, high of 250. It is the Shangri-Las with Leader of the Pack. Yeah, it was originally sold for $1. But this thing looks like it's never been, I mean, I don't know if I can pull it out. This thing is like super minty. Shangri-Las, Leader of the Pack. And this one has, Remember Walking in the Rain's probably their other hit everybody knows. And they got the guy on the motorcycle. Like I said, you know damn well what that is. I don't even have to explain it to you. Got another one. I took a chance on this one because I thought it was cool. It's a 58 rock and roll R&B instrumental record. It came out in 58, and then the stereo version, which is what this is, came out in 62, and they cut 2 of the tracks. They probably couldn't figure out how to mix it into stereo or something. Low of 2, mid of 4, high of 30. I believe the mono version might go for more because of the extra tracks, but it's like super minty. It's Everything Shaken by Syl Austin and his orchestra. There's a lot of sax on this one. Mercury Wing. And this one's like really nice, like the cardboard sleeves not falling apart. You know, it's that crappy cardboard. There you go. It's all instrumentals, lots of saxophone, rock and roll R&B record. And they keep saying he's the king of rock and roll, you know, because like nobody else was known as the king of rock and roll. I think that's kind of weird. That didn't date well. Especially, you know, Elvis Presley is very well known as the king of rock and roll. That one's a cool find. I did say the value on that. Yeah, I did say the value on that one. Here's one. You know who this person is. I mean, I'm not even gonna. I've actually met this person years ago. She's no longer alive, unfortunately. A family friend used to have a Christmas party. He was related to this person, and she used to come over with her husband and son to the Christmas party. So when I was a kid, I played with her son at a Christmas party. That's my claim to fame. It is a Annette Funicello Hawaii Annette album. It's actually a true story on Buena Vista Records, so it's on the Disney label. I couldn't figure out there's 2 different listings for this one. Low of 13, mid of 40, high of 77, low of 4, mid of 25, high of 60. So it does have a value. I'll show you the other side. This one has a dollar sticker on it too. Looks like they changed the price a couple times. Still has most of the cellophane. Barely been, if it's been played, it was once or twice. I mean, this thing is super nice. Obviously, people like Annette Funicello stuff, you know, Mouseketeer, you know, all the surf movies with, you know, all the surf movies from the 1960s. Everyone knows who I imagine most people, unless you're young, you know who Annette Funicello is. So, yeah, I showed my daughter a couple of the Frankie and Annette movies, the very campy ones. This one, there's 2 records, a couple of them that were like this. 2 records in the same jacket. They were both different pressings. So this is a 1966 Best of the Beach Boys. And this is the duophonic jacket. One of the records is the duophonic one. I think the other one's a mono pressing that's in there. It was released a few months after Pet Sounds. It says, and it sold really well. Obviously there's a billion different versions of this, so I wasn't gonna try to peg it down. This is probably like their first one where they released their earlier material. There's the duophonic one, which is in good shape. I gotta put some, and for some reason they had a mono pressing in there too. So they must have had 2 of the same record, then decided to put them both in the same jacket, because I found that on a couple different records that they had. In fact, one I found the wrong record by the same artist in the jacket with the right record. But still cool to find. I mean, it's probably worth a few bucks. People do like the Beach Boys, especially locally, being in Southern California. The cardboard jacket is nice. It's not falling apart or anything. I'm probably going to pull that mono out of there and throw a sleeve on the other one, and then maybe I'll hold on to the other record in case a jacket for a mono ever pops up. which it probably will locally because I'm in Southern California and the Beach Boys obviously were extremely popular here. I think they were popular everywhere in the U.S., but probably especially here because this is where they were from. It's from 85. This is a Greatest Hits Volume 1, Volume 2. Billy Joel has his hits up to 83 with 2 new tracks for this album that I guess were somewhat hits. Low of 16, mid of 48, high of 140. I was not expecting that. 2 LP set because it's Volume 1, Volume 2. This is the version with the triangle on side A of the label is what my notes were. So we got the Piano Man, Billy Joel, and there's different versions that have different tracks and different live versions, and you can get into all these crazy things. All I know is this is the version. It does have a little bit of damage there on the jacket, but it does have the gatefold with all the lyrics to all your favorite Billy Joel songs. So I grabbed it because I don't think I had that one, the Greatest Hits one. It's a good one just to throw on, you know, if you have people over who like Billy Joel, and you're just gonna get the hits. It's a different version. I think the CD had different songs. I was reading up on this stuff. Here's one that comes up a lot. I didn't even write a little info thing on it because you know what it is. And they pressed 1 billion copies of this. This is the soundtrack to American Graffiti. I already knew that because I have this. And then they did like a Volume 2 and a Volume 3 that had like different oldies that were not in the movie. You can see it's got information and then shots from the movie. Obviously a very popular movie from what they come out like 73 or 74. Kind of helped bring back the whole 50s revival in the 70s, that and like Happy Days and whatnot. I was like, I grabbed, it's probably like my 3rd or 4th copy of that though. There's one I did not have a minty copy of. This was from 78. This was a terrible movie. The soundtrack was okay. It has a great Earth, Wind, and Fire song version of, what do you call it? It was the one that they did, Got to Get You Into My Life. It's the not the Sgt. Pepper's album. It's the Sgt. Pepper's soundtrack, the one with the Bee Gees from 78. I remember watching this on TV when I was a kid. It was just like, it's like the movie cost a lot of money to make and did nothing. It's the one that has George Burns as Mr. Kite. I guess the one that everybody likes from this album. Well, it's Come Together. The Aerosmith did Come Together, which was, I think, still gets played on the radio. And then, like I said, the Earth, Wind, and Fire version of Got to Get You to My Life is the one everybody likes on this album. So I grabbed that, and it's a minty copy, and it's a 2-album set. I usually find these that are beat to hell. I've found those over the years. I don't think I've ever come across a copy anywhere near that clean out in the wild. I'm sure other guys have found those all the time. So I got it. Here's one I do find pretty regularly, as it sold 1 billion copies. It's sort of related to the last one, as it's a movie soundtrack and has Bee Gees. I'm sure that's enough damn clue for most of you guys. It's probably the biggest selling album, one of the biggest selling albums of the 70s. That's a massive hint. Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. It's another mint copy, so I grabbed it. Like one of my guys I run into does records that he goes to sales. He doesn't even buy these anymore. He's like, yeah, he says, I've got them. He says everybody that has one wants it, but why not? It's got all the stuff. I might start giving him my buddy for the Malaise Days car show, the 70s, 80s car show, as like a gag prize or something. But that one's from 77. I don't even have to write a notice, from 77. Didn't look up a value because there's 1 billion pressings of it. They pressed 1 billion copies of it. But I said, it's especially clean, so I grabbed it. There you go. Another one, you know the artist. I had the CD, but I had the CD version of this when I was probably in the early 90s. So it's from 86, low of 7, mid of 18, high of 43. It is the Police, Every Breath You Take, the single. So this was like their greatest hits album. Which, with the Police, you want to own the full albums, I think. And it's got all the hits. I'm not going to go into it. You know all the Police's hits. And I'm sure if I sit here and critique this, there's songs that should definitely be on there that aren't. This is why I hate greatest hits albums. I'd rather just own the full album, which I do. I think I own all their full albums anyway. But I grabbed it and it has a reasonable value. Obviously, somebody that just casually likes the Police, wants Roxanne and stuff like that, they're going to want that album rather than having to buy all 3 albums. I think it was 3 albums. Was it 3 albums they put out? Someone's going to chime in if I'm wrong. I thought it was Regatta de Blanc, it was Synchronicity, and Ghost in the Machine. I think those are like the 3 albums, right, by the Police. Okay, I'm probably wrong. Someone's gonna throw in another one. I'm coming off my brain here. I'm not looking up it on Google. Here's one. Oh yeah, you know I like surf music. This is sort of surf adjacent. This is a 1960 mono pressing. Oh, there's 2 different. This is where they have 2 of the same record jammed in there with different label variations, but they're both in okay condition. The big letter version, so there's the one that has larger font, the other one has smaller font. The big letter version, low of 150, mid of 5, high of 20. The small letter version, low of 750, mid of 874, high of 10. And this is weird because the jacket doesn't show the catalog for the stereo number, which the pictures of all the label variations showed the different jacket that had a second catalog number here for the stereo version. And this one only has the catalog for the mono version. Is Encore, Santo and Johnny. And it does not have Sleepwalk on it. It's a nice instrumental. I call it surf adjacent. And I do have a couple Santo and Johnny albums. I did not have this one, so nice to find. So once again, I got to get a better. I don't know which one's the right record for this jacket because I think they both might be. But I got 2 of the actual records. They're both in good condition, different label variations. So not sure what to do there. You know? I don't know if they bought a second one. And then this one had. Okay, this next one is they had a record of their other album, and I took that out since it's not the right album. Another one you find quite a bit, but it was clean enough, so I grabbed it because people do like this guy, and we already saw him earlier. 1978, Billy Joel, 52nd Street, and there was a copy of The Stranger in mixed in there too. A record which I pulled out because obviously it's not the right record, but it's in good condition. People like Billy Joel. I do own multiple copies of this already. It pops up fairly regularly. There's a couple of just these are the last 2 from that sale before we get into the thrift store stuff. 1971. Again, I grabbed these because this one has a jukebox, but it's like a mutant weird jukebox thing that's not a real jukebox. The Best of Country Instrumentals on RCA. And I did look up the value for, I don't know what reason. Low of 250, mid of 6, high of 8. So it's very low value on Discogs. But a weird thing about anything that has a jukebox on the cover, even if it's kind of weird. So that's definitely not a real jukebox. But it's jukebox enough. It has the records in it and everything. So I grabbed it. Another one. Here's one like other guys from other parts of the country are like, oh, we find that all the time. I've never seen it. It was mint. I don't think there's much value to it. 1965, my pick of the hits by Ernest Tubb. So I don't find a lot of country stuff out here. Country just wasn't as popular. And I mean, obviously it was. We had the Palomino Club and whatnot, but it was so minty I had to grab it. Ernest Tubb, the record's minty. I'm sure it's not worth a whole heck of a lot. But it's not kind of something fun just to throw on every once in a while. All right, now we got this thrift store pile. So, first thrift store. This is the one I like to go to. I always mention there's one where the records were still $1. They raised their prices. They went to $1.99 now. But I bought these before they raised the price. In fact, I went back last week. They'd raised the record prices to $1.99, but I didn't find anything anyway. First one. Now, this is a good example of a record. If it was $1.99, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but it was $1 and it was mint, so I said, why not? It's Olivia Newton-John with Physical from 1981. Low of 54 cents, mid of 3, high of 13, and it has a return hole in it, but it's minty. And Amoeba Records, I don't know if it was the Hollywood one, sold it for $5 to somebody at one point. But 80 stuff is definitely coming up, so I kind of just grabbed it for $1. You know, it's like something you find quite a bit. I like those cool Exotica batch or pad records. It's a pretty common one. 68. Les Baxter. I swear to God, we have better stuff coming up. Les Baxter, Love Is Blue. Yeah, we're just gonna breeze through this stuff for $1. Why not? The jacket, the cardboard jacket on this one is not holding up very well. Low of $1, mid of 10, high of 15. I said that stuff's still popular. People do locally. They DJ Exotica and bachelor pad music. It's actually a thing. Now here's probably the more interesting one I found at that thrift store. I can't find out much. I found there's 2 halves on Discogs. 9 people are looking for this thing. Now I talk about these. This is more of a local thing. The lowrider bootleg albums. So you got to remember, going into the 70s, a lot of your lowrider oldies were out of print or hard to find. So these guys started making bootleg lowrider oldies LPs. East Side Story is probably the most famous, which the newer East Side Story ones are actually licensed. They've got rights to the songs. The older versions were all bootleg. They just did it anyway. There were different companies that did that. You know, the Blackjack Records, which we've seen some of the 45s. I believe Good Old Gold was another one. You can actually Google bootleg lowrider records or something, and there's like a couple sites for that stuff. The only other guy I could find this, I don't think this came with a jacket, and this is the only record the company ever put out, and it's on that compressed groove similar to a K-Tel record where it sounds like garbage. It sounds terrible. I put those on, I took it off. I tried to do a couple different tracks to see if it was the one track. The whole dang record doesn't sound right. That's Terry Records out of Inglewood. This did not come with a jacket. It only came with a sleeve. And that's the one I found online that was the same way. And the catalog number is 5800, which, when I looked it up, that's the only record anyone's ever found from that label. And it has... but these are collectible. People collect bootleg lowrider albums, even if they don't play them. Has at my front door the Eldorados, Jimmy Reed's on there. Honest, I do. Don't You Just Know It? Huey Piano Smith. It's another one that everybody knows. Tallahassee Lassie. Although that's not really a lowrider oldie. To Be Loved, The Pentagons. But they got 10 songs on each side. Let's just say. It's got the Midnighters, That's All, which actually was the with 2 E's, and they spelled it with 1 E on here, because it's the Midnighters, the East LA band, not Hank Ballard, and there's 2 different Midnighters if you don't know. Stuff like that. He Will Break Your Heart, Jerry Butler. I'm not going to go into the whole track listing, but they're collectible as a bootleg lowrider scene collectible. I would not play it. It sounds like garbage. I'm guessing the guy must have done a run of these records, maybe sold them, and then realized they probably got a bunch of complaints because they sound like garbage, and decided not to do that again. Plus, you can get in a lot of trouble for that, obviously. Next one we have, this is a different thrift store that I don't normally go to. I've only been there a couple times, maybe before. My kid wanted to go thrifting, so we just started hitting thrift stores east of here. I completely forgot about this thrift store because we wound up at another thrift store around the corner from there. And I realized, wait a minute, this is around the corner from that Salvation Army. The other thrift store, I didn't find anything yet. But I did find a few things at this one, including some 78s. This is a 10-inch LP, Martini Time Art Van Dam Quintet. I kind of looked it up because it said Martini Time. It's jazzy, it's very loungy, which is kind of cool. It does have a low of 645, mid of 10, high of 19. On a 10-inch LP. There you go. And it's clean. The record's clean. Virtually Bill Stewart wrote his name there. It's not Billy Stewart. It's not Sitting in the Park Billy Stewart. Different Bill Stewart. Not celebrity owned, sorry. But Martini Time. So I didn't really know about it. I just kind of saw it, thought, hey, that's kind of cool. Let me look it up. All right, so I had an overheating GoPro battery there, so if this thing jumps and all of a sudden my head's in a different spot, that's why. We're going to go to this record. I'm going to have to hopefully seamlessly do this. So I would say the 78s were $1.99, as I explained them. They were singles, and the albums were $4 because this is a Salvation Army So I always share them in Goodwill or have those higher priced records for some reason. This one I took a chance on because it was so mint. It looks like it's never been played. 1946 swing record. Some guy's asking 13 bucks for one of these. I've never seen this label. HRS Records out of New York. Minor Mirage, Harry Carney's Big 8. This is the stuff we deal with here on Mike Finds Things. I did look up my timer, and it looks like I've already got a pretty lengthy video going. And Candy Cane. So somebody's asking 13 for one of these. This thing is super clean. That's why I kind of grabbed it as a, you know, just in case, because I couldn't find anything really. I couldn't find much about it online. Here's one. Somebody's asking 25 for this one. I could not find any sold comps. Another swinger from 46. Also Harry Carney's Big 8. Also on HRS Records. Jamaica Rumble. Another one looks like it's never been played. And Shadowy Sands is the other side on that one. So we're not going to go into too much detail. They both were from 46. I like picking up mystery records and taking a chance on them because you never know. But nothing with a crazy value. This one, and I always say about these 78 record sets, sometimes you got to check through them and see what's there. From 1943, all the recordings are from, I believe, 1928. Low of 10. Mid of 25, high of 80 on this set. It's a 278 set of, I'll show you the end, Pine Top Smith on Brunswick. The book's okay. It's scratched up here, and then that piece of paper that would be here that said Pine Top Smith, unfortunately, is missing. However, I'll pull this out so you can see it better. It does have the liner notes. So the liner notes are there. And it has a whole story about Pine Top Smith, how he was like a pioneer in boogie woogie piano blues. And I played all 4 songs. They were good. I guess he only recorded 8 tracks total before he died in 1929, according to the book. This is half. So this is like literally half of what he ever put out. And I can show you. So it's just got, you know, of course, it's the record album. 2 records in here. I guess his best known song was the Pine Tops Boogie Woogie. These are all in really good condition. I played all 4 songs. And Pine Tops Blues on the other side. In fact, Pine Tops Boogie Woogie I think was my favorite one, which I guess was his best known one. So there you go. And the second record, Jump Steady Blues. These are on Brunswick. I think it said the originals were released on Vocalion. But I guess they were I guess even then they were hard to find. That's why they reissued them. And I'm sorry, or I'm sober now. Sorry, I'm sober now. To kind of, like I said, check those sets, man. Remember last week I found that LP set of Lead Belly, which let's face it, LP sets are usually terrible with those little cardboard things. In this case, I came up, I'll show you the liner notes again. It's a Pine Top Smith, and like I said, we did have that Freddie Slack that I got. Remember, I bought all those 78s for like a low price at the end of a sale locally. That one had a little bit of value, but that one comes up a lot. But this one, I imagine, does not, considering the value to set. And I said, I'm gonna look this up. And like I said, I got home, I played it, and I'm like, man, it's a really good set of records there. This came from the same estate sale, or same thrift store. There's only LP I bought there. That one's, like I said, the last one was from 1943, but the recordings are from 1928, according to the book. So they re-released it because I guess later on there was like a renewed interest in boogie woogie piano songs, and so they decided we'll bring this record out, or this record set out, you know, so it was more available. From 1988, it's a movie soundtrack. Low of $1, mid of 8, high of 20. Tapeheads soundtrack. Now this movie completely bombed. It starred like Tim Robbins and John Cusack as producers of music videos. And it's got the songs from the fake band, which was Swanky Modes. It's got Surfer's Love Champ by Bo Diddley. And my favorite, Baby Doll, sung in Swedish by Devo. So I had to pick this up just because it had a Devo song in Swedish on it. It has a little bit of a value. It's more like a cult film. as the trash truck's coming up my side of the street now. I'm just gonna push through. Oh yeah, let's just keep going. He'll be gone in a second. I really only have this morning to film this. I went to a different thrift store. I never go to this thrift store. I hate this thrift store. It's overcrowded. It's hard to park. My kid wanted to go there, so we went there. She did find some clothing there. Okay, the trash truck's gone. I can't stand. I did find a cool vintage pineapple lamp there once. That's my claim to fame at that thrift store. But what I did find from 1973, low of $1.50. That's my daughter's school. Okay, I'm gonna click that off. I keep getting messages because my daughter starts school in like 2 weeks, so that the school is like calling constantly, and then they send you an email with all that information that they just sent you anyway. So don't need to know about it. Low of $1.50, mid of 5, high of 10. Bill Haley rockin', so it's kind of like Bill Haley B-sides almost on the MCA Corral label. And as far as I can tell, it's mono. It doesn't say stereo anywhere on it. So there you go. And I said, okay shape's got light scratches, but plays fine. Very light scratches, like nothing great, nothing super notable. But you know what? I think this place charges $3 for their LPs. I have never found any records in that store ever, so that was kind of surprising. They did have some really cool records. I can't remember what a lot of them were, but they had the wrong jacket. Like they were radio station copies where they just stuck them in a generic white jacket. Stuff I would have bought if I had the correct jacket. Here's one I took a chance on. It's a gospel record from '66. The recordings are from '55. It does have a return punch. Low of 54 cents, mid of 2, high of $12. Mahalia Jackson, I believe. But it was so minty I grabbed it, even though it's got the return punch, this corner. So I grabbed that. I was in a good mood. I bought my kid some clothes. My kid likes to look for clothes at the thrift store. And we had nothing going on that day, so we said, let's go do that. Okay, and I already did these already, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, I don't know why they wound up there. So that's what I got for you this week. I honestly, by Saturday, I was like, I don't have anything for next week's video. And obviously, I wound up having enough stuff for next week's video by all the time all was said and done. So lots of great stuff. Hopefully, I find some good stuff this weekend in between all the running around filming car shows. And I said my Disney pass expires in a couple weeks, so we're trying to go to Disneyland as much as possible. So that's what we're doing Friday. And we might hit some sales maybe because my daughter likes to leave by midday anyway. We go when it first opens, leave before the crowds get ridiculous. Hopefully we'll hit something on the way home, maybe find some more records for the next video. If not, it'll probably be on that record lot. Make sure you're subscribed. Still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize the channel. Make sure you leave some comments about some of these records. Also thinking about, I'm going to put this out, hopefully people into the video, trying to come up with some other stuff, maybe like where we talk about some of these artists, do videos on some of these artists. I realize there's other channels that do that, but they usually talk about artists everybody knows, not like this kind of stuff that I usually find at stores and at sales. So let me know what you think about that, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.